Hello everyone, it's EnderElectrics here, and when I'm not making YouTube videos or video games, and more info on that later, I tend to check out other people's video games. Yep, that's right, this video is a fan game showcase, a little different from what I usually post on the channel. Extra sugar. Cartoons, games, what's at the end seems to differ. I mainly knew him through his cartoons, specifically the drawings I see him post on Twitter, but when I figured out he was making a Sonic fan game, I was intrigued. From what I can tell, he's only made 3 fan games for the franchise before, so he's a relatively fresh developer. This Sonic Walks Home saga is pretty neat, but yeah, let's hope Proto 2 is a little more polished. But thankfully, I can confirm that Sonic does indeed walk home. No running animation scene here, so don't worry, no lies are being told. Okay, yeah, his musical talent has definitely improved a bit in the later games. These were his very first fan games ever uploaded to GameJolt, so I can understand it's not gonna have the polish or refinement his other games have. He probably only made these games to experiment with game creation and have some fun. I don't expect a fan game series titled Sonic Walks Home to be created with a straight face anyway. I want to keep the original Sonic Proto for later on in the video to compare the progress that Sugar made, so let's move straight to Sonic Proto 2. After suspiciously having to install Direct Play and starting up the game, you'll enter the first stage, Prototype Green Hill. Proto Hill, Green Hill, I'm not sure. You first go through a small tutorial learning Sonic's moves. No spin dash found here, but you can roll. Rolling in the air makes you dash downward, so you can use the correct jumps if you overshot a little. Not sure if this was even intended, but that didn't stop me from spamming it as much as possible. Sonic dies in a single hit. Obstacles include spikes, lava, weird glitchy goo, blind jumps, and enemies. Glad to see the Mad Doctor invested in some decent f***ing metal that isn't weak to hedgehog quills. Or, well, fur, I guess, you know what I mean. Yeah, you can't really defeat enemies in this game, and there are no checkpoints either. I often found myself retrying an entire stage just because I fell in the pit or something. Maybe that's something you can add to a Proto 3? For some reason, that girl from the Knockout City ad is here. Okay, I'm not complaining, but okay. I really like the sprite work in this game, especially Sonic's sprite. Normally he has this surprised face, but when he runs, he looks like he's f***ing done. There are also some odd-looking sprites in the game, especially the ones that don't have the same pixel size as the player, but I really like all the little details in the stages and all the characters you run into. Yo, Sugar, if you're watching this, please put me in the background of Sonic Proto as a cameo. That'd be really cool. Okay, thank you. There's also some ripped sprites from the original classic Sonic games, but I honestly wish he made all the sprites himself. I like the stylized look of Sonic and the background characters. The sound effects are all pretty good and they play in the right place, but the ring sound is simply way too loud. My ears kinda start to hurt a bit after hearing them for long enough. I also like how all the stages look. They're bright and colorful with primary colors everywhere, but not to a point where it starts to hurt my eyes. Levels look detailed with nice parallax scrolling and background elements to give them more life. But look, Sugar, if you're gonna add parallax backgrounds to your video game, don't throw me in an area where I can't actually fucking see it. I specifically enjoyed running away from the lava in the desert stage and the actual code in the background of the Matrix stage. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a way to code the max speed of a character controller. You're welcome. I don't really like the way some of these stages are designed, though. There are leaps of faith all the time, especially in the desert stage. Keep running while jumping? Death. Take it slow and stay left? Death. I'm assuming I'm supposed to just run off the ledge here, but come on, I see a pit and I jump over, dude. Not to mention there are no checkpoints at all, meaning I get back to the same spot over and over again. All things considered, the game is a pretty basic platformer, but still relatively fun. I guess that makes sense, since the first Sonic game was probably one of the most platformery out of all of them, before Sonic Forces decided to, well, you know. So, let's take a quick look at the original Sonic Proto to see how Sugar improved, shall we? One of the first things you'll notice when starting up the original Proto is that, well, first off, it's not in HD, and second off, how weirdly Sonic controls. He's a lot faster here and hard to control, not to mention his acceleration is incredibly slow, but he stops in a microsecond. This is something even Sugar himself addressed in the GameJolt post, and I'm glad this issue was completely addressed in the sequel. Acceleration and deceleration is smoother than ever here. Furthermore, there is no ring counter, making collecting rings even more useless in the second game, and there are very little original sprites aside from some level tiles and snow effects. I still enjoyed my time with the first game, but I can definitely tell that Sugar took all the feedback from it to create an even better sequel. Now, if we all give him even more feedback on Proto 2, I think he can create something even better in the future. Speaking of shoved-in updates, we have a new logo! Yay! It looks better than anything I think I've ever made in my entire life, and that's all I can say about it. I also want to touch on the absence of my devlog videos. I gotta be honest, Space Animals is something I haven't touched in a while. I'm mostly working on Swing Cat 64. Yeah, the title changed a bit, didn't it? I felt like literally putting the name of the protagonist in the title was a little cheap and not that thoughtful. Anyways, I'm making a lot of progress on the game, and I'm taking feedback from people who've played the Stage 2020 build. Don't play that, by the way, that's absolute garbage. In fact, I may make it to Stage this year, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, update over.